Welcome to Norwich, where in the last 6 years the number of Greens on the City Council has grown from 2 to 10. As a large opposition group of City Councillors, we're pushing council policies in the right direction on environmental sustainability and social justice. One of our priorities is tackling climate change for the Council and the City to play its role in reducing carbon emissions in council buildings and services and across the board, through, for example, having renewable energy in all new developments. But that's not the only thing that we're campaigning on. Green councillors are making a difference across the board. Here in the Norwich Lanes district of Norwich, we see dozens of independent and local businesses that help give Norwich its distinctive character. They keep money in the local economy, and they're far more likely to use goods that are produced locally and support local farmers than we would see in the chain stores and the supermarkets. Greens are keen to see the council taking more of a lead in promoting these businesses, and the Green councillors have pushed successfully for support for this Norwich Lanes initiative and for a buy local campaign. We've also pushed the City Council to take a lead itself through its own procurement policy in supporting local goods and services.
Behind me you can see the site where Tesco's have been wanting to build a convenience store. We, the local residents, have been campaigning against this for the last 3 odd years, more than 3 years. We've had fantastic support from the local Green Party councillors who recognise the problems, the traffic chaos that would be created.
This part of Norwich is characterised by many independent shops, such as a greengrocer, a butcher, a fishmonger. They'll all be undoubtedly very badly affected by any Tesco store that ever found its way into this community.
The UEA Green Party has provided quite a lot of ethical consumer advice to students when they start at the university, and things they've done include a tour of ethical shops to provide food and other things around Norwich, and also they run a cooperative organic vegetable box scheme which lets students get locally produced organic vegetables at reasonable prices, which is really quite amazing, and it's distributed from this building, the Hive at the UEA.
Here at the Hewitt School in Norwich, the Labour government and Conservative County Council were wanting to sell off a large proportion of the playing fields for a private development. Local residents got together with support from the Green councillors, and we successfully stopped that. With the growing school population and rising childhood obesity, it just couldn't be justified selling off the playing fields. We now need Greens elected to Parliament to call for proper public funding of schools and other public services, so those schools are not considering selling off assets to pay for the facilities that they need.
So this is part of my ward, Wensum Ward, and one of the things I'm really proud to have been part of while I've been on Norwich City Council with the Green Party is keeping all of this council housing in public ownership, in local control. And if you ask the local people around here, they'll say that they're pretty pleased about it too.
By building large numbers of council houses, it can have a moderating effect on the market and give people at the bottom end of the ladder a chance to live in decent housing.
Green councillors in Norwich are pushing for a quality bus contract. A quality bus contract gives the council a say in where the buses run, when they run, and how much they cost. That means that buses run at times when you want them, at prices you can afford.
As a student, we want better value for money. I'm dependent on public transport. I can't afford my own car. That's why we need a quality bus contract. It would give us better value for money and cheaper fares.
The Lib Dems wanted to cut money for trains like this out to the coast, vital services for a rural county like Norfolk. But because the Green Party, because the councillors here hold the balance of power on the City Council, we were able to stop them making those cuts, thus saving those vital services and making it possible for us to have a better railway service for everybody here in Norfolk. But we want to go further than that. In the longer term, we want to renationalise the railways here in Britain. We're the only political party committed to doing so. And only a renationalised railway service can give you the modern, joined-up railway system that you deserve.
Green councillors have pushed the City Council to start seriously investing in recycling as a top budget priority for the first time. And with these recycling banks, for example, we are starting to see the effects of that. But there is still a long way to go until we have the genuinely comprehensive recycling facilities that Greens want to see. They're so important because we must reduce the amount of waste we send to landfill, and by doing so, we will be able to undermine the arguments that are put forward for incinerators. We recently had a large local campaign in Norwich and Norfolk where the county council was wanting to build an incinerator. Thousands of residents and Green councillors got together and persuaded the county council to change its mind. But we're now pushing for green methods of dealing with residual waste that don't involve burning and that involve maximising the reuse and recovery of resources. Here on Norwich City Council, the 10 Green councillors make up a large opposition group. We've made a real impact on environmental sustainability and social justice issues, but there's so much more we could do. Equally, we have over 100 councillors up and down the country making a difference to their local communities. But what we really need is more Green councillors running councils, represented in city and town halls across the country. And we need Greens elected to Parliament so that Green policies can really make a difference to the national agenda as well. Please do vote Green this 1st of May.